Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm gonna show you Magnezone and Raikou, and I know what you guys are thinking. This is actually pretty sudden. Usually I don't make decks this quick, and of course I actually don't. I usually take about a week to make a deck because I always test it. But because of the new PTCGO update, because the matches take forever, and because I edit the videos to speed them up now, I actually made the decks earlier now, and I tested them out earlier, and I'm actually able to upload videos earlier, or at least upload more videos now. So I guess there's one good thing about the update. Either way, this one's be Magnezone Raikou, of course. I added this Raichu break line or the Raichu just to test it out. If it, of course, is not needed in the deck, he actually never comes out really. He's just in here because I wanted a tech for a power, because I know somebody would have been like, where's your power tech? But here he is. But yeah, so don't worry if you don't want to put Raichu break in here. Don't worry, you can take him out and put another line of artillery. Maybe put, I don't know, another Verse Seeker, another Ultra Ball, maybe more Trainers Mail. Put some more item cards to help speed up Magnezone and Raikou themselves. Are the main part of the deck. So let's take a look at Raikou himself. Whoops, there it is. Raikou, the nice looking Raikou here. He's got 120 HP, and he's a lightning type or electric type. I just prefer electric. His ability, Shining Body. It's not as good as Russian, but it's actually pretty decent itself. Shining Body, if this Pokemon has any electric energy attached to it, any damage done to this Pokemon by attacks is reduced by 20 after applying weakness and resistance. So it kind of gives Raikou a little bit of bulk, and that's kind of good. It's kind of weird because you have to attach energy to it first of all, but I mean, he has to use it for his attack either way, so it's not a big problem. So Shining Body is a very neat ability. It makes Raikou a nice wall, makes him able to take and absorb hits. Pairing it up with Rough Seas makes him have a longer longevity, especially in matches, and he's able to survive things that normal electric Pokemon wouldn't be able to survive. Take for instance the trio's Earthquake. Normal electric Pokemon would be knocked out by that, but because of Shining Body, he's able to live at least one of them. So that's very nice. He comes in clutch. He's got a move called Thunder Lance. And this is where the name of the title and the name of the deck comes from. Thunder Lance. Keep that. If you can get the reference to that, you guys are amazing. But it is base 50, and this attack does 20 more damage for each lightning energy attached to this Pokemon. So it's just like Keldeo-EX. The only difference is the ability to switch, and he is not an EX. The ability for Keldeo-EX is Russian. We don't have that ability, but it's still nice. So yes, Thunder Lance is what we're gonna be using for our main attack. With 3 energies, I think it has 110 damage, but you can start stacking more energies, and of course he does amazing HP knocking out moves. And you don't discard anything, you just keep attaching. So he is a little weak to Pokemon that take advantage of energies like Evolta-EX or the new the new Mewtwo Y. But the thing is, he only offers up 1 prize card, whereas they offer up 2. So that's a nice little trade-off there. So that's enough about Raikou. I guess I will mention that he does resist steel or metal, and he has a 1 retreat cost, which isn't not that bad. But here we are, the backbone of the deck, Magnemite. Just kidding, it's actually Magnezone. But we'll take a look at the line real quick. The reason why I chose this Magnemite is because he has an ability called Sparkling Induction, and as long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, this retreat cost is colorless less, so you only has 1 for each Magnemite on your bench. So just having 2, and these guys will have a free retreat cost. This is just in case we start off with one of them. I like to have him in here because just in case I will start off with one of them, I can retreat safely into Magnezone, who is the actual wall or the actual tank of the deck, and I can get these guys loaded up. We will look at Magnezone real quick. Even though we'll be using his attack, he's just nice. But here's the backbone of the deck: the Blastoise to the Keldeo, the Magnezone to the Raikou. Magnezone 140, so kind of bulky, electric type or lightning type. He's got the ability Magnetic Circuit, which is the exact same as Deluge, however you want to say it, and the exact same as Inferno Fandango. As often as you like during your turn, before you attack, you may attach a lightning energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. And then he has a move called Thunder Blast, which is not the worst, but also we won't be using it too much. However, he does have a 3 retreat cost, so of course he is a big bulky Pokemon, and of course your opponent will use that to their own advantages. Of course, if they license her out, you have to find a way to retreat them. We do run 1 switch, but the main thing we are using here is Float Stone. This Pokemon card is attached, has no retreat cost, so what you want to do is as early as possible, or as quick as you can, you want to attach a Float Stone to Magnezone. That way, if they license him out, he has free retreat cost, and you can retreat him back. That's what that will just help him out greatly. Your opponent has less options to stall you out at that point. But that's about it. That's a great pairing right there. Floatstone, Magnezone, and we'll look at Shaymin over here. Shaymin EX 110 electric type. I'm sorry, colorless type. This is the ability setup, which everybody knows. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench, you may draw cards until you have 6 in your hand. The Raichu break we won't really get into, but I'll go ahead and look at Raichu. I really wish this would flip to where you have to bend your neck, but it does grant Bolt 170 and discard all energy attached to this Pokemon. So it's a very strong attack, but we won't be really using him all too much. Octillery here is a nice little tech in here. I would advise you as well to at least put a 2/2 line. But Octillery here is 90 HP water type Pokemon, but his ability is really neat. It's Abyssal Hand. Once during a turn before you attack, you may draw a card until you have 5 cards in your hand. So a little bit like Shaymin, but 1 less, and you can do it every turn, which is very nice. He does take up a bench space though, which is okay. That being said, these Magnezone, Raikou, and Octillery work very well together. I suggest you guys will make a deck taking out Raichu breaks, of course, but make it more consistent with Octillery and Magnezone if you don't want to put Raichu break in here. But if you do want to keep him in here, then this will be fine. But like I said, Octillery works very great. He's a great partner with Magnezone. So we have Energy Recycler, because at some point in time our Raikous will be knocked out, and of course our Raikous will be packing energy. So Energy Recycler is just nice because it makes you shuffle 5 basic energy cards, discard out. Makes you shuffle 5 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. So of course, once our Raikous do go down, if they do go down, they would most likely have about 3 or more energy cards to them. So Energy Recycle is a nice little card in here to get those energies back in here. And we also have 2 Professor's Letter. This is just so I can attach an energy to my Raikou turn 1 if I don't draw it, even though I have 11, or also to increase our magnetic circuit abilities to attach to multiple Pokemon at one time. We run 3 Rare Candy and 1 Magneton because we need to get Magnezone out as soon as you can. He is essentially the backbone of the deck. So 3 Rare Candy and 1 Magneton to get him out. We run 1 Switch just in case our opponent Light Centers out something else, or maybe we don't have Floatstone onto Magnezone himself. We can use Switch to get him out of the way. Run 3 Transmail for Ultra Balls, Verse Seekers for every item card we really have in here. Each item card is very important in their own right. We also have 3 Ultra Balls. The Ultra Balls, did I say Ultra Ball for Transmail? Well, Transmail, but we also have 3 Ultra Balls, and those are mostly for the Magnezones. The Raikou kind of come with you in their own hand, but the Ultra Balls are made for Magnezone and for Shaymin EX. We also have 3 Verse Seekers. This is mostly for Sycamore and of course Fisherman. Fisherman is a new guy we're going to introduce. Fisherman, look at him. He's really determined to get that fish. You put 4 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. This is very much needed, especially in Standard, because there is no superior energy retrieval in Standard anymore. It is a supporter, but at the same time you don't discard any kind of cards to use this effect. So it's a good trade-off, I guess. We also have 1 Lysander, obviously to catch out anything that's a threat. We have 3 Birches, just to have Birches, and another draw supported kind of supporter. And we have 4 Sycamore because look at that guy, he's our best supporter. And we have 3 Rough Seas just to increase Raikou's bulk, and also I guess maybe if Magnezone gets damaged we can heal him up steadily, but it's mostly just increase Raikou's bulk himself. 2 Floatstones, that's obviously Magnezone. 2 Muscle Bands, this is to increase damage for either Raichu Break or Raikou himself. That way it counts as energy, so you don't attach so much energy to a single Raikou. And then we have 11 energies. It is up to you if you want to put some flash energy in here. I really don't see any kind of need for it in my own personal thing, because I've been testing this deck out and I've actually had a lot of fun with this deck, and I really haven't had any trouble with fighting Pokemon. I actually haven't had really any kind of trouble. This deck runs pretty well. But like I said, up to you if you want to run flash energy to cover weaknesses purposes only. But that's about it. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the battle. I'm sorry for the noise. My neighbor decided to work on stuff for some reason in the middle of the night. It is 8 o'clock and I'm not sure why he's working on stuff, so I'm really sorry for the noise, guys. Either that, hopefully you guys enjoy the video, or at least the rest of it. Alright, we are going against Kazuki JPN, I think is his name. Something like that. And here's a nice cool little Groudon coin, and he's gonna call it a flip. I saw it had fighting and grass. I think this was a third typing, but I couldn't picture it out. So we're gonna go first. It's always good to go first with a deck with evolutions in it, since you get to evolve. And so my opponent mulligans the first time he got. It is a fighting deck, and he had like hammers and stuff like that, which is not good for us. I mean, it's not too big of a deal, but I just hate getting hammered my energies off. Either way, we put our 6 prize cards, and I get a rare candy and a float stone. Nothing too amazing, and I got a lot of energies. Once again, it normally would be best to discard a lot of things, but luckily we have 2 items and things to get back our resources. And so I did draw a Sycamore with a Transmail, which is nice because it's just we get a fresh hand. Unfortunately, I did discard a Float Stone, which is kind of a bummer, but I did get 2 Magnemites and another Raikou, and I did get another Birch. So I mean, I got a Birch, so I at least have some kind of draw support here. So my opponent, I didn't notice this, but he actually opened up with Landorus, Lucario, and a Machamp. So pretty heavy fighting deck here. He's gonna Shadow Power, but thankfully because of Raikou's ability, it only does 20 base, and we can heal that right off with Rough Seas. So it's always that right there made me so happy. We drew a Sycamore, so overall just nice, great draw power. We get a Pikachu. I might as well put it down. I don't think he'll be contending at any point in this match, but it's always nice to have him there. And I'm gonna go and put a Muscle Band to my bench Raikou. The reason why is because there's no real reason. I just put the Muscle Band onto the Raikou. And so I'm waiting for my opponent. My opponent attaches a strong energy to his Lucario, and he does another shot of power. So far, the only bad thing, we heal that right up. The only bad thing about my opponent's hand so far, he has no way of discarding energy to use shot of power to speed up his bench Pokemon. So I get a Ultra Ball, and I'm going to get rid of the Electric Energy and, of course, the Birch to get a Magnezone. So now we have Magnezone here. He's the backbone. And I'm going to go ahead and Versus Seeker out for a Sycamore. I'm not going to use a Sycamore, but I'm just for next turn. I'm going to actually use Fisherman and get back about 4 energies. We have 5, that's good. And I'm going to attach all that to my Raikous. It's always good to get in the habit of running it when you run a deck like this to spread out the energies. Make sure you have multiple attackers ready just in case one of your main attackers has to go down. So I'm getting my active Raikou and my bench Raikou semi-ready. And so now I get rid of the Landorus and I get a draw prize card. So I draw another Magnezone, so not too bad. We do have another benched Magnemite, so at any point we can put 2 Magnezones. That way if we get knocked out, one of our Magnezones get knocked out, we can still have another ability to use. So my opponent is doing a smart play. He's actually lasering out the Magnezone here. Obviously, if he takes out the backbone of the deck will be a lot slower. I'll have to manually attach. It won't make too much of a difference since Raikou is already set up, but it will slow me down a bit because I will need to manually attach energies, and I don't think I have enough to knock out that Lucario. So he's going after our Magnezone. Luckily, we do have a rare candy and another Magnezone, but I'm not going to play those yet. I want to keep my opponent believing that I don't have another way of getting this out. That way he can just target this Magnezone. I don't want him targeting out another Pokemon, because if he keeps the Magnezone alive, obviously he will have the same problem still. He will have a Raikou there attack, so he wants to knock out the Magnezone. If I have 2 Magnezones, then he can just start working on the Raikou instead, because I will have another one ready. So he knocks out our Magnezone, and for some reason my discard pile just blew up in my face. So I'm going to promote my active Raikou, and I'm going to go attach a Muscle Band to him, and I'm going to rare candy into my Magnezone. So we didn't lose any kind of steam. I'm going to get an Ultra Ball. Sorry, it's really windy and something scared me, but don't worry. So I'm just looking at my pile. I don't really have much to energy recycle, so I might as well get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of the energy cycle and get rid of another thing, and probably get out the Raichu Break. I don't want to draw it at any point. He is out. I can use him at any point, but I think Raikou can handle this all on his own from this point on. I'm going to go and get out a Sycamore, get a new fresh hand of 7. There's only 1 in the discard pile, so 1 energy in the discard pile, so odds are there's a lot more energy in my deck. I'm going to attach another Electric Energy to my Raikou and Magnetic Circuit, the other one, to Raikou as well. Now here's where I get a little scared. I always misjudge Lucario-EX's HP, so I play a little safe. I actually get another energy to attach, so I do a little overkill on this Lucario-EX, but it's because I have really bad experiences with letting that thing live by 10 HP, because I always think it has 170 when it in fact has 180. I don't know why, so I always overdo it now. So I did 210 to Lucario-EX, knocking him out, and at this point my opponent really has nothing to play against this. Machamp has no energies on him, and Ariados can't really do much, so he's gonna promote Machamp, of course. But at this point, there's nothing my opponent can really do, so he could just concede victory. So we won that one, pretty landslidey too. So now we're going against Sailor Swerve, and he has a nice water coin, so he's going to, let's see what he gets. We lost the coin flip, even though I didn't get to choose, but it's because my opponent chose correctly. So obviously we're going second, which is a bummer since it takes longer for Magnezone to get out now. We opened up with a Raichu break and 2 rare candies, nothing we can really use. However, my opponent also mulligans, and he was running a a Manectric deck, a Mega Manectric deck. So now we got a Raikou, and we got 2 Sycamores and 2 Trainer's Melons. So not the most stellar of hands since we're getting rid of some of our resources, but not the worst either. So my opponent opens up with Manectric-EX, and we open up with Raikou. Luckily, he can attack his first turn, and Overrun doesn't do enough to make us scared. However, Assault Laser does do quite a bit more, and that might make us scared. I'm not going to actually attach any kind of tools to Raikou since it will just increase damage. My opponent touches a double colorless, and he's going to Ultra Ball, most likely for a Shaman. He also gets rid of the Team Flare tool since obviously we're not running EXs besides Shaman. He does get a Shaman though, and he plays down for the nice setup ability and draws 3. And let's see what else he's going to do this time. Sadly, it looks like Raichu isn't going to make an appearance in this match either. My opponent versus Seegers out the Birch, and he's going to play it. He puts, I think, about 6. He gets a Heads though, so it worked out for him. He gets a new fresh hand of 7. He gets a Link, and he puts it onto his Manectric-EX and ends his turn. We get a Magnemite, so not a bad draw right there. Not a bad top deck. So we also have options here. We got Press Letter. I want to get it so I can attach at least 1 energy to my Raikou, so we can at least take some kind of damage. I don't want him getting any kind of damage like that. So I attach my Electric Energy or Lightning Energy to my Raikou, so we can at least negate Overrun, and my opponent will be forced to use Assault Laser. I also get a Float Zone, which is nice. Float Zone and Magnezone go together like peas in a pod right there. And I discard Raichu since obviously we're not gonna be able to use him. And unfortunately, I also get Raichu Break. I'm sorry, we're not gonna be using him this game either. So my opponent is just leading off with Manectric. He draws a card. He plays on Regice, so it's obviously Mega Manectric Regice deck. It wasn't the Silent Hill deck we faced last time. And he touches a Muscle Band and a Water Energy to his Regice. I'm guessing he didn't have any kind of way of getting Mega Manectric out, since that would have been the best play to use Mega Manectric to power up the Regice. He also plays Hex Maniac, which is actually interesting. We can't use Shaman, but I believe he plays Hex Maniac, so we take the damage from Overrun, which is nice. I thought it was neat. We get Magnezone, but no rare candy. So I'm gonna touch another energy, and I'm gonna attach my Muscle Band to my bench Raikou. The reason being is because I'm gonna Verse Seeker out for the Sycamore, and I'm gonna play it. And let's see. I discard a Magnezone, and I get another Magnemite, a Shaman, and a Rough Seas. Our abilities are turned off, so I have to Rough Seas. I'm not gonna play down Shaman, and plus there's no way of me getting my hand size down low enough to play Shaman, so I'm just gonna pass the turn. Manually touching the Raikou is slower, but luckily my opponent is not dishing out an amazing amount of damage. So let's see. He touches a double colorless to Regice, and most likely gonna retreat into Regice. Let's see. He can Overrun, but Overrun doesn't do enough damage to do anything important. So yeah, he's gonna retreat into Regice because Regice does more damage, so it'll be easier knockout. So because of the Muscle Band, we still take a fresh 70, but it's because of Rough Seas, we're actually able to make that into a 3-hit knockout for us because of our ability and the Rough Seas healing. So Raikou being a nice wall. I'm gonna put on another Magnemite just in case the same situation as last time where they capture out Magnezone. I can have another one ready. And plus I want to thin my hand down to use Shaman. Unfortunately, I got Magnezone again, but no rare candy. So I'm gonna flip. Luckily I get heads with Birch. I get a Magnezone again, but yet again no rare candy. And I also get a Sycamore. So I'm just gonna have to Thunder Lance the Regice and do 110 to it. Next turn I'll be able to knock it out. And let's see, my opponent heals up the damage, but redo too much for him to actually heal off everything. And let's see what else. He's gonna Resistance Blizzard, another 70. We live on 10 because of our bulk. I'm not gonna actually put another energy onto Raikou because my bench Raikou will need to start getting ready because my active Raikou was gonna either lose this round or he's gonna go down this on the Manectric. I don't Sycamore because I actually not sure if I have my Magnezone prize, so I have no way of really searching through my deck to see. And my opponent is gonna use, I think it's Assault Laser, and to knock us out. Yep, does 40, and there goes our Raikou. I'm gonna promote the Magnemite. I don't want a Raikou getting damaged, so I'm gonna promote the Magnemite. I draw Artillery, which could have been worse. I could have. I'm just waiting for the rare candy, of course. I don't want a Sycamore because of the fact that I am not sure if I have another Magnezone. I discarded one earlier and I haven't really searched through my deck to see it, so I don't want to discard it and have no way of getting out the Magnezone. My opponent headringers my Shaman and he's playing Trainer's Mail. So let's see what he opens up. He gets Trainer Mail, he gets an Ultra Ball off of it, so obviously either Shaman, Regice, or Mega Manectric is coming out. He gets rid of a Link. And let's see what he gets. He gets a Shaman, so he does a nice. Let's see. He plays down to draw 5 more cards, get a nice fresh hand going. And let's see what happens here. He puts on a bench Manectric EX. And let's see. He Mega evolves into Mega Manectric, so he's obviously gonna Turbo Vault on us. And he puts an energy on Shaman. Attaches a Muscle Band to his Manectric, and Turbo Vaults knocks out a Magnemite with a little Float Zone, and he gives the energy to Shaman. The reason being is I'm pretty sure it's going to Sky Return. We get an Ultra Ball, so we're slowly getting there. I'm going to attach another energy to our Raikou, and I'm just looking through my deck real quick, and I want to see if there's a reason to play Recycle, but I'm gonna play it after I Ultra Ball the energy and the Octillery since I really have no need for it. It's already pretty late game, so I'm gonna get out a Magnemite and Magneton, and I do have another Magnezone, but at this point I'm already committed to the whole evolving on turns. So I'm gonna put back a lot of my energy back into this, back into my deck. That way I can Sycamore. I'm gonna Thunder Lance, do 130 to Mega Man or Mega Manectric EX. And let's see what happens here. Next turn I'll be for sure getting out Magnezone. And let's see. Let us wait. Okay. My opponent plays Lessener, and here's the thing that he messed up on. He actually Lesseners out the Shaman. The reason being, I don't blame him either because it's 2 prize cards. But when you're facing a deck that kind of has a backbone to it, or some backbone Pokemon to it, you want to get rid of it because if you don't get rid of it, then it just doesn't really phase the deck at all. So now I got energies to not really spare, but at this point I can knock out the Mega Manectric and he has no real answer because his bench Manectric is not ready, and the only thing that can attack us is Shaman, which doesn't do very much to begin with. So yeah, when you're facing a deck like Blastoise, Keldeo, or Magnezone, Raikou, you always want to get rid of the Blastoise or the Magnezone because sure, Raikou is tough and sure, Shaman is 2 prize cards, but without Magnezone or without Blastoise, the deck really just falls apart. So that's a little tidbit. If you're in a situation like this, always take out the Magnezone if you have the chance to. Take it out. It's always good. So my opponent, I believe he either Ultra Ball or a Poke Fan Club. I couldn't see. I was too focused on looking at Magnezone because he's so beautiful. So I think he Ultra Balled and got a Manectric, and he's gonna Verse Seeker probably for a Birch. I was actually expecting Sycamore, but he's gonna go for a Birch. Gets a Tails, draws 4. So not the most amazing draw power there. He puts a double colors onto his Manectric EX with the Muscle Band. Oh no, Spirit Link on it. Wait, was it a Muscle Band or Spirit Link? I'm not sure. And then he promotes the Manectric with no energies onto it. So I'm gonna go heal that 10 off because that was pretty. That wasn't very much damage from Shaman, and I'm gonna attach my lightning energy to my Raikou. And now I believe we're doing about 170. So I'm gonna attach the other energy to my bench Raikou, getting 2 ready. I'm gonna also license the Manectric EX with energies on it, so I have no threats coming now. So now my opponent only has, and I wouldn't see, I wouldn't be able to get out Raichu at any point because Pikachu was priced. But now my opponent really has no way of winning this. Manectric does not do enough damage, even with Mega Turbo and even with Mega Manectric. There's no way of actually doing enough damage to knock out Raikou. And also Shaman there can't really do much. So he gets a Life Center. Luckily we have a Float Stone on Magnezone, so I mean he can Life Center out the Manectric, but there's no point. So my opponent Life Centers out the Raikou instead, which doesn't really make a difference because I can just retreat it. And we're 1 prize card away, so I can either knock, even if he pronounces the Reggie Ice, I can knock that out and still win. So my opponent plays on a Transmail. He's pretty much playing on his hand. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but he's playing on his hand. And so yeah, if he actually captured out the Magnezone, it would have been stuck. But luckily I had a switch in my hand, and I'm gonna go on Thunderlance for 170, knocking out another Manectric EX. And there it is. That's Raikou Magnezone, a very strong deck. As far as competitive, I'm not sure. You might want to put some couple of texts in there. So that's about it, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, helps me out a lot. And if you haven't already, subscribe. And that's about it. Hope you guys have an amazing day.